Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week.
Joining me on the line now is the Lord of the Manor himself, Sir Paul Tracey. Paul, thank you so much for joining us here on The Kickout.
No worries, my pleasure.
So you've been wrestling now since 1999, so what first influenced you to become a pro wrestler?
I suppose the earliest memories I have is coming home from football training on a Saturday afternoon and the World of Sport was on, so I suppose I always remember Big Daddy enjoying Haystacks there, but I remember characters like Jim Breaks and people like that, and I suppose the pure wrestlers like Johnny Saints, so that would have been my earliest influence. And then I remember WWF came on TV here, and I think I was fascinated about the tag teams actually. I think the first feud I remember watching was the Hearts against the Bulldogs, so that would have been the first feud I remember.
Okay.
So those are my early influences, I guess.
That's pretty cool. So obviously you've wrestled in many different promotions across the world, particularly here in Europe and over in North America and places like Canada. So what's it been like to wrestle across all these different promotions?
It's been amazing. I mean, I've been a very lucky boy, and I don't ever take it for granted. You know, wrestling's taken me to places I would have never been. I've been lucky enough I think I started in summer 2000, and since then I've been able to wrestle in 16 countries, so that's pretty awesome, you know. So what I suppose the biggest thing now is that we have a scene in Ireland that's as good as these places, so now I don't have to travel to, you know, Germany or Spain or wherever it is now, you know. We have O2 scene that's on my doorstep now, so it's pretty fantastic for the Irish scene now too. Absolutely.
Like the way the Irish scene is particularly in the Renaissance, you could say. So you wrestle under the persona of the Lord of the Manor, so how would you describe the character and the persona of Sir Paul Tracey, the wrestler?
The boys in the back, I tell you, it's an extension of me as a person. But how I would describe him as is, I guess he's cocky, arrogant, he's sly, he'll do whatever it takes to win. He's a talker, I suppose, the gift of the gab. You know, relies on his face and his movements a lot of the time to get reaction on people. I've been doing it now since I think 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like second nature to me at the moment. So yeah, I have bits and pieces to it along the way. So
it's pretty
cool. No, it's been fun. It's probably the best thing I ever did in my career was take on that character.
That's pretty cool. Is there any other wrestlers or people that influence any part of the Sir Paul Tracey character, past or present?
I suppose when it was first suggested to me, and there was the arguments over who came up with the character, there could be arguments between Jamie Coleman, who's a ring announcer, and Peter Farrell, who's just in shape. So between the pair of them, they both take credit for it, but the arguments over who started it. But as far as influence on it go, I suppose you'd have to think of Stephen Regal, Lord Stephen Regal in his WCW days, and I guess the early Triple H persona in WWE, I would have like 95, 96, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I'd actually watch TV shows, you know what I mean? So the one TV show sticking in my mind would be Keeping Up Appearances. So there's a woman that is a snobby lady, and you know, I'd always look at her, the way she speaks and the way she talks and the way she moves. So it's not only wrestling that influence you, you know, the bits from television.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's absolutely like bits and pieces from outside of wrestling as well.
Yeah.
So you've been trained, of course, under the late Andre Baker in the famous Hammerlock School of Wrestling in the UK. How encouraging was he for your wrestling career, and what did he teach you in particular that sticks to your mind more than anything today?
First of all, he was tough coach. He was fair. He expected 100% all the time. And the things that he taught me was wrestling. Hammerlock Wrestling was a wrestling school.
Mm-hmm.
All the entertainment, the showbiz side and all that kind of stuff came later. It was, you know, all of it pure wrestling, chain wrestling, submission wrestling. And I think it was the best way you can be brought into the game, really. So as far as encouraging, he's a standoffish guy, Andre, but you know, if he had something to say, he'd say it to you. You know, he'd pull you aside and encourage you, you know, give you the pat on the back you needed. But no, it was awesome. I think it's one of the best things I ever did was start off at Hammerlock. You know, and I know, like, every wrestler's going to be biased towards their own training school, but I'm obviously biased towards Hammerlock, but I really do. I think the success speaks for itself, you know. But
absolutely.
World-class training school.
Absolutely. Of course, you founded your own wrestling school with Fergal Devitt and Bray in the Fight Factory Pro Wrestling Gym. So what approaches do you take yourself as a trainer in teaching new wrestlers into the business, and how rewarding is it for you in particular? We were very young when we started training school, and the reason we started one is because there was no training schools in the country, so the only way we could wrestle was to go back and forward to training camps in England. So eventually myself and Brad, we did coaching courses over there to become trainers, and we did. And we started the NWA Ireland Training School in Bray, and they're actually two separate schools, so the Fight Factory came later. The only similarity between the two is that they're in the same building. So the NWA Ireland Training School started, and we were training people. We were very young to be training people. We did the best we could. and we've had some good people come out. Obviously, with the likes of Jordan's doing great, and OTC, you've Team Mega there, you've Sean in Japan. Rebecca obviously came through, and she's in America now. So there's a lot of success that's come out of it. Back then, I guess we just did what we had learned in England, so we used the same kind of style, the same drills that we did over in England. But I guess then, as compared to now, I've seen a lot of different styles and a lot of training skills. I've seen Japanese style training and American training, and you've taken that on board. But all those different styles now, for me as a coach, I just try and make it all functional training. So, like for me now, I don't see a point in standing doing 500 squats because it doesn't do anything for you in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I'm trying to incorporate fitness and fitness levels that will be useful to you as a professional wrestler in a match situation. But I guess at the end of the day, everything for me will still come back to the hammerlock style that we learned in 2001.
It's pretty cool. So obviously now you've been wrestling now for 17 years now. You've been starting since 1999. Who would you say are your favourite wrestlers to be in the ring with, and why?
Back home in Ireland, I guess my favourite guys would be the likes of Paddy Morrow, Jordan, Sean Brennan, Luther Ward, the Team Mega Boys, Duncan Disorderly, people like that. And the reason why is it's just so easy because, there's times where you be wrestling these guys week in and week out on kids shows, and it's just easy. It just becomes easy, and you're not nervous. It's just no problem at all, and it's easy. Guys around the world, there'll be guys from England, the likes of Zack Sabre Jr. is obviously a tremendous talent.
Mm-hmm.
John Ryan and John Moss, who played a part in teaching me to wrestle. So it's always great being in the ring with him. Another Hamlock guy, Danny Garnell. Apart from that, I guess the likes of X-Pac was very easy to work, and one of the coolest guys you can meet. Rene Dupree, brilliant because it's just get in the ring and do it. Just do it in the ring. There's no sitting down for hours going over matches. And then some of the Japanese guys as well, the likes of Ryoji Sai and Morinori Sawa. He's retired now, but
cool.
Just good guys. And even though there was a language barrier, it was just easy.
Yeah, so
I know there's a lot of names there, but I can all the years I could talk forever about guys. But I guess those are the ones that stand out for me.
No, absolutely. And as you said, with the guys from Japan, if there's no language, there's not much language between us. There's still an understanding, which is what you want as well. So, what would you consider the highlights of your pro wrestling career so far?
Oh, highlights of my career. I get asked that a lot, and I actually don't have an answer because when you start off training, you have these small goals, and these small goals develop as you go. So, for example, my first goal would have been to wrestle on a show, and then I wanted to do a tour, then I wanted to wrestle in America, and the list just goes on. And you sort of achieve goals as you go on. You know what I mean? So, my biggest achievement, and I said it to somebody on the phone yesterday, it'll have to be after I finish wrestling. I'll be able to look back at it then and tell you what my biggest achievement is. One of them is obviously the training school in Bray and some of the people that came through it.
Okay, so
that's a big thing.
So it's like step after step, and it's something you can reflect on later on. Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. So, but as a fan yourself now, you mentioned growing up watching World of Sport and WWE when you were growing up. Who are your favourite wrestlers growing up, and even right now?
Favourite wrestlers growing up, the World of Sport guys I named here, obviously big influences on me. I remember when WWF came on TV, it was Hulk Hogan was the big star, so obviously he was there. For wrestling charisma, it probably would have been Shawn Michaels. He was the first one that really stood out for charisma for me because we didn't have WCW on TV here at the time, so I hadn't seen Ric Flair.
Yeah.
As regards talkers, I guess The Rock, one of the best talkers ever. Steve Austin, obviously, and for me, the all-round greatest wrestler of all time has to be Ric Flair.
Absolutely.
I don't watch too much of it now, I have to say, so I'm going to be biased there and say Finn Balor. But
no harm.
I honestly don't watch a lot of what's on TV now.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose
I don't know a lot about what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's a good time to watch it now. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
You mentioned how you have you develop goal by goal by goal, as your career goes on, going from one show and then to the tour. Do you have any long-term or short-term goals now, they'd like to accomplish in your wrestling career?
For me, I guess short-term goals now, we've OTT, which is really strong, so it's to keep that going, keep it going as good as it can, and I suppose to keep the Irish wrestling scene busy and productive. And I suppose the short-term goal is as well to produce more talent from Ireland. I think we should have more talent from the country. There's a lot of people in training schools now, but there's a lot of imports coming into OTT, which are no problem. I think it's great that fans get to see as many wrestlers as possible, but I think we should have more
Irish people knocking on the door looking for those main event spots.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to be producing more Irish talent. Yeah, so that's something that I will get back into coaching at some stage on a more regular basis.
Absolutely.
But for the moment, I'm 37, so I've 3 or 4 more years left in the ring. So with plenty of time for that after. As far as long-term goals, not a whole lot. I've learned just to take wrestling as it comes. Take every day at a time. You don't know who you're going to meet next or who's going to email you next. I suppose I'd love to get back to the USA. I'd love to get back to Japan. Travel more around Europe. Just travel in general. And then I guess when the in-ring stuff is said and done, it's go back coaching, go back out and put matches together, go back out and produce shows, stuff like that. So
cool.
I'll be involved in it forever. I think people say
one way or another,
wrestling, but you never do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Approach, the way you take it. Finally, I must ask you now. You're leading the Social Elites stable in OTT at the moment with Jordan Devlin, Charlie Garrett, and Worky from the Flats in its ranks. Yeah. If you could add one wrestler in the entire world to the Social Elites, living or dead even, who would it be and why?
Well, amazing question. I'm going to take it on 2 fronts. I'm going to go local. If we could take somebody from OTT, put him in the Social Elite. I think if you could take Sam out of the gymnastics and take him with us, it would be amazing. Because he's young, he's so into it. I'm not saying the other gymnastics aren't, but I just see something in that kid that could be really good in the future. A European guy, if it was a European guy, I'd have to take Zack Sabre Jr. An American guy, I'd have to take Bad Allegra, who's Carl Anderson.
Good choice.
I spent 3 months living with in California back in the day when I was in the Inoki Dojo. And dead or alive, it'd be alive and it'd have to be Ric Flair.
Awesome stuff. All great choices for different reasons. So you can catch Over the Top Wrestling next at WrestleCon on October 28th and 29th. There are still some tickets available on eventbrite.ie. Paul, it's been a pleasure to talking to you. I've been looking forward to you in particular to have as a guest on our show for ages now. So thank you so much for having the time to come on, and all the best and more in the future. So we'll talk to you again soon.
Look after yourself. Take care.
Thank you.